Have you reconsidered my offer?
I've come to send you to hell!
The Last Pirate. This felt like an epic film to me for sure, right from the beginning. I loved all the different camera shots too. To me, this, was very detailed as far as the camera work goes, the overhead shots, the moving shots especially when they were doing the sword fight. I thought it was really well done. A lot of great coverage. From the beginning, it was a great setup and awesome opening music. It made me feel like this was a film and an epic film. I liked the sound design as well. And I really liked the opening credits too. It just felt very filmatic. Really great location, nice performances as well. It could have been overdone, and I felt like the direction and editing were great. I liked the performer who narrated the sword voice, or the bad guy's voice. I liked the line, "You had a choice," where he was saying he had no choice, and the guy was like, "No, you had a choice. You chose mutiny." So I thought the script was good. And great wardrobe and casting as well. I feels like a limited series to me, and it left me wanting more, so that was great. I look forward to the next one to see where this goes.
The Last Pirate. I thought this was so interesting and such a kind of wild story that I loved just like being a part of the ride for, because when it started, obviously, like, they're at the beach and there's a lot of, greenery and there's a lot of nature around them, so you can't really like tell where it is. You have a harder time identifying. And then as you get further and further into the story, suddenly like there's two like regular people, and you get more confused. But there's also this layer of the sword and this like evil possession kind of like being with him and things like that, and trying to figure out how it's gonna turn out at the end, because since he's the one that we've been following the whole time, and we got to see the part at the very beginning where we saw that like he doesn't want to be doing these things necessarily, but that's just not how things have kind of broken down and turned out. You kind of feel for the guy, because you're like, obviously you're doing bad and evil things, but it's not really you making that decision, which brings conflict surrounding your main character, which I think is really interesting, and I really enjoyed that. And then to find out at the very end that they're not on an island or anything like that, like they're in Florida, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, because of all the stories that we hear that are like wild things coming out of Florida anyway. I think that this is just like a really fun thing to like set there, that like this like quote unquote like last pirate who's like possessed and things like that is like not on an island in the Caribbean or anything, like he's just in Florida. And I thought that was like a really fun thing to kind of throw in at the very end. But I thought the story was really interesting and really compelling, and I really enjoyed watching it.
This was great. Really, just a quality action adventure. Love the setting, the characters, the wardrobe, even the choreography with those sword fights. A lot of that was just really well done. Um, just a really simple but always compelling kind of concept, and it's executed really well here. The way it's the writing, I should say, is just really well done. It really works in this genre. And it's just something I personally I always like these kind of films, and I think it's just really well done. Definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed it.
The Last Pirate has all of the elements that you'd expect a pirate movie to have. There is this wit, there is this sense of betrayal. I believe they had a grand use of this location and used it to their advantage really well. building on top of these elements into this world, the costuming, the special effects makeup, the soundtrack, the music composition really builds onto the story experience, and it blends very seamlessly with the cinematography at play. And so within this film, we get to have this just beautiful woven story of the last pirate. Now, there is this weapon that sort of represents MacGuffin's gun, right? Once we see this sword and the demon complexities within that, you see the downfall that we inevitably see our character fall. And you see this drawn energy at the end of the film as well. So as we have seen the inevitable demise that one faces, it's sort of this pulling, almost as if unavoidable circle of life of putting this evil balance back into the world. As you can see that as this individual ends up getting this gravitational pull, the closer it gets to this sword, this entity, this power. It's trying to consume you and bring out the worst in you. And when you bring out the worst in yourself, sometimes it leads you to your very end.